Hello, everyone. Welcome to this interview. I am Dr. Sandeep Sharma, pediatric faculty at Dr. Tutorials for NEET PG and FMGP. And we have a very special guest with us today. We have Dr. Arman Said with us. Dr. Arman is rank 8 in NEET PG exam 2022, and he has also got a rank of 9 in INICET May 22. So, welcome, Dr. Arman, to this interview.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
So, Dr. Arman, first of all, I'll just start with congratulating you and just asking, how are you feeling, Arman, with the success of yours?
Sir, I'm feeling really great, sir. I had not expected a rank of top 10 in NEET PG. So when I got to know the result, I felt really excited and happy.
Great, great. तो अरमान अपने बैकग्राउंड के बारे में आप कुछ बताएंगे, like from where you did your MBBS and all.
Sir, I did my MBBS from Maulana Azad Medical College, New Delhi, and I just now completed my internship, and this was my first attempt.
Nice, nice, nice. So with with internship only, you were preparing for the exam, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So how did you manage that? Because a lot of students, they feel a lot of difficulty when they are preparing for exam and they are doing internship also. So how did you find that balance?
Sir, firstly, I feel that it is important to start preparing early in our MBBS years, like from our very second year or third year, because we have to build, if we start building strong concepts from that time, so even if we have a hectic internship, we can make up for it with our strong concepts. Then during my internship, there definitely are very hectic duties in Mamsi and in Delhi also, and I'm pretty sure in many other places. But sir, then some postings are much more hectic while some are lighter. Like in my college, medicine, surgery, obs-gynae were very hectic, but then postings like PSM, anesthesia were lighter. So on those days, I could study more. So I would make up for the lost time in these postings and not worry too much if I couldn't study in medicine or surgery.
So like everybody will be having a tougher day and everybody would be having a relatively free day also. So you would compensate on the days where you were free, right?
Yes, sir.
I think that's the way forward for most of the students who are listening to this interview, that you should try to balance it out. So Dr. Arman, what are the resources that you relied upon? Did you go in for textbooks or did you just stick to the guidebooks and stuff like that? So how important are textbooks when somebody is preparing for NEET PG exam in the MBBS years?
So definitely, I feel textbooks are very important because when we are in our respective prof years, at that time it is very important to be thorough with the subject. Like we rely a lot on notes and we should, but along with that, concepts are very important and concepts are built from reading textbooks. So I feel that at least one reading should be given to these important textbooks, the standard textbooks, along when we are in our professional years, so that we have a strong foundation over which we can build upon with our notes and other resources.
And did you make your own notes?
Yes, sir. I made my own notes.
Because I think a lot of other toppers we are talking to these days, everybody comes to a common point that reading something yourself and making your own notes, I think that is very important.
Yes, sir. Own notes are very important because when we write it at that time, also we're making a lot of memory at that time. And while writing, we are using more of our senses to learn that same thing. So I think it is very important to be able to write our own notes. Yes, if we in the end, if someone wants to do some subject quickly, for that printed notes are okay. But otherwise, I think handmade notes are the best.
And is there any importance of solving PPCC questions for NEET PG and INICET?
Yes, sir, definitely. I feel that this time there were many questions which I felt had come from last year's exam paper in NEET exam. I felt that some of the questions are exact repeats or slightly altered questions. So previous year questions are very important for two reasons. One, that they may be directly repeated, and other, that those topics are definitely important for the upcoming exams. So if we even do those questions as a part of a targeted study before the exam, then definitely it will be a very high yielding study.
Great. So everybody has some strong areas and weak areas. What were your weak areas?
So I felt that my weak areas were PSM, forensic medicine, anatomy, the subjects in which we need to learn more of some more of facts as compared to the conceptual things. But yes, I think by doing those subjects repeatedly, I think I was able to cover up for those weaknesses.
Okay. So, everybody would be like, everybody says we should start preparing early and we should start reading textbooks early. But how to stay motivated all those years? Because in MBBS, you know that we have a lot of distractions. Not everybody is preparing. There are prof exams. There are issues in personal lives happening. So, how important it is to stay motivated and focused on your goal, and how did you achieve that?
So obviously it is never possible to study every day, even if we have time with us. Still, it's very difficult to make the most out of each day. But then I kept myself involved in other things. I used to play cricket in college so that I used to get some break time. Then, sir, even when I did not used to feel like studying for exams, but I used to participate in lots of quizzes. So in that way, I could just learn more and more things in a fun way. Like I used to take part in as many quizzes as possible. So I think that helped me to cover up for a lot of time I had lost during internship because I still used to keep studying for those things.
Yes, a very valid point mentioned by Dr. Arman. And in fact, I talked to two or three of the toppers recently in NEET PG and INICT, and almost everyone agrees that giving quizzes at the same time doing extracurricular activities, everything has its importance. So it is not only reading books inside out, day in and day out, that is going to help achieve your goal. So how many hours per day do you think it is good enough for a like above average to a bright student for do. See, personally, I feel there is no student, no such thing as average, below average, above average, because everybody who's in MBBS, they have crossed a certain level, and so they all have a good IQ. So it's a subjective thing. But how many hours per day do you think it is like minimum, maximum, or anything like that in your mind?
So definitely with different postings, the hours one can take out per day, definitely it varies. Like when I used to have medicine or surgery posting at that time, I don't think I used to study even for 1 hour every day because at that time the duties are very hectic. But if someone has a free day, then I think it is in around 4 to 5 hours. If someone studies well, then even those many hours are enough if everyone keeps a regular schedule to study at that time. Because yeah, in those 4 to 5 hours, one can concentrate very well and study. After that, I think the concentration starts dropping a bit. But then before the exam, as the exam approaches, so we are more determined to cover the syllabus. So at that time, one can even sit up to 10 to 12 hours in a day. So that varies. But for a regular study, I think 4 to 5 hours per day is good.
So were you giving mock exams also? Like
Yes,
giving,
sir.
and are they really important?
Sir, I used to be giving grant tests for the main exam, and
Mhm.
so the grant test helped me in two ways. First, that it told me where I stood. I started giving grant tests by the end of last year, so I knew that where my starting point was while giving grant tests. Then I used to try to give at least one grant test per month in the initial months, so that I get some idea on how I'm performing and to know that what are my weak topics, so that I can then do a targeted study instead of trying to do all the subjects together.
Okay, okay, great. So, did you utilize the doctoral resources? Did they help you out in some way in your preparation?
Yes, sir. I used job tutorials for a few things. Like I before your quiz, I participated in an All India pediatrics quiz. So at that time, I had gone through the notes and I felt they were very comprehensive. So before the quiz, I tried to finish as much as possible. And sir, I had taken part in Dr. Rahul Rajiv sir's doctoral quiz as well, and his practical sessions in the time of lockdown, which I found were very useful. So
Mhm.
these were some of the resources I utilized for my preparation.
Okay, great, great, great. And other than that, what branch do you now intend to take up?
Sir, I want to take medicine.
Okay, great.
Yes, sir.
And so you, after that, you're going to, you want to be a super specialist in some specific field, or you just want to decide later on in your residency?
Most likely, I am interested in cardiology right now. So maybe I'll.
Veterinary cardiologist. Okay, great, great, great. So, in the end, Dr. Arman, any message, any advice to students who have not done that well, like those who will be preparing again? In a nutshell, you would like to give some advice to your juniors?
The most important thing I feel is that it is never possible to finish all the subjects. So it is always the best thing is to have a targeted study,
Mhm.
start giving more and more grand tests so that we all get in the habit of solving those questions and then focus on the weaker topics
Mhm.
because those are the topics that will keep getting repeated again and again from those tests. So
Mhm.
that will help everyone perform better in the exam.
Great. Any shout outs? Any dedication for your success?
Yes, sir.
Any shout out? Any special person you want to dedicate?
Sir, I want to thank my parents, my grandparents, my friends, and my college teachers as well. Everyone has played an important part in my journey. And so definitely, I feel that other than studying, it is important to like to take care of our own physical and mental health. That is very important, and that is what is achievable by being with family and friends. So we should not miss out on that part.
Excellent, excellent advice. So, thank you so much, Dr. Arman, for your time, and we wish you all the best on behalf of Dr. Tutorials. I wish you all the very best in your exams, and hopefully, when we meet some years down the line, you would be a cardiologist in person.
Thank you
So,
so much,
all the
sir.
best for your residency. Do well, keep doing well in life.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.